Crispy. Got chalk on my shirt. Peanut, but I caught that one. Milk chocolate. Mint. And almonds. It's the blue ones. I can't catch the blue ones. What's your favorite M&M? I caught that one. Personally, I like mint and the original crispy, which they recently brought back, which I'm super excited about. Okay. Cut. Hey guys, Ray Pahar from Get Crafty Crafty, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make this roll out M&M bag pencil case. It's a little similar compared to a project that we did about a year ago, which was this guy, which was the original candy bag, and I don't really know if this counts as a revisit project, but we will be using another M&M candy bag. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with today's project. The items that you'll need for today's project include a bag of candy. Today we'll be using a bag of M&Ms, felt, scissors, tacky glue or fabric glue, a ruler, an X-Acto blade, ribbon, or you could use a shoelace as a fun alternative, needle and thread, some thicker thread for your border, and a cutting mat. For this project, you want to use the most of your candy bag, so to empty it out, you're going to cut a straight line on one side, empty out your candy, help yourself to a few M&Ms, and then carefully cut off the end of the other side of your candy bag. Depending on your candy bag, you could either do this with your hands or you might have to use a pair of scissors, but you want to carefully open it up from the center so that you have a rectangle to use for your project. Before using your candy bag, you might need to wipe off the inside to remove any of the remaining pieces that might have broken off while you were removing your candy. After you've cleaned off your candy bag, you're going to trace it on top of a piece of felt. Today we're going to be using this shiny felt that I got at a craft store, and you want to trace it so that it is the exact size of your candy bag. After you've traced your candy bag onto your felt, go ahead and cut it out. You want to cut it as straight as possible, but if it's a little off, don't worry too much, since you'll be able to trim it off later when you glue the pieces together. To create the strips inside your candy bag that's going to hold your pencils in place, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to measure out an inch away from the end of your candy bag. And then from there, you're going to make a bunch of 1-inch marks at each inch marker so that you know where you're going to start the slice for your candy bag. After you've made the marks on one side of your felt, you're going to make the same set of marks on the other side, but instead of having it 1 inch away, you're going to measure it so that it's about 2 inches so that you have a little bit more space on this side. For this project, there's no specific number of strips that you actually need to have inside your pencil case. It all really depends on how many pencils you're actually planning to put in there. Using your ruler, you're going to connect the 2-inch markers from one side to the other side. I'm making about 7 lines so that I'll have a total of 6 strips that go from one side to the other. After you've drawn the lines for the strips of your candy pencil case, you're going to use your X-Acto blade to cut them out very carefully. If you don't plan to hold that many pencils inside your pencil case, you want to probably make the lines a little shorter so that they won't hold that many pencils. Carefully use your X-Acto blade to cut it out. After you've cut out the strips on your felt, you're going to take your tacky glue and you're going to apply a generous amount of tacky glue onto the border of your felt. You only want to apply tacky glue on the border of your felt and not anywhere on the strips, since you want the strips to actually be loose for your project. To apply your candy bag onto your felt, you're going to take the side of your felt that has the least words and you're going to apply it on the 2-inch side, or the side that has the most felt versus the 1-inch shorter side. Take your candy bag and then gently place it right on top, and then just press it down so that it's able to set in place. To ensure that the candy bag stays in place, you want to press down and make sure that all the glue is pushed into the felt and onto the candy bag. You want to let this dry completely before you move on to the next step. It's going to take some time for your glue to dry onto your candy bag. If possible, use a heavy object to hold it down. After the glue has dried onto your felt, you're going to choose a type of ribbon to attach onto your candy bag so that you have something to wrap around and hold your bag together. You could either use a fun, creative ribbon, or you can use a shoelace as an alternative. Since the inside of this project is already really shiny and glittery, I'm just going to use a regular white ribbon to hold it all together. Using some needle and thread, I'm just going to carefully make some loops going back and forth to hold the ribbon in place. It doesn't really have to be pretty, it just has to be able to hold the ribbon in so it doesn't get pulled off. After you've attached the ribbon onto your candy bag, you can take this time to trim off any of the sides on the edge of your candy bag that might have been too big or too small when you were cutting your felt and your candy bag. The tacky glue will do a really good job of holding your candy bag together. The only thing is, if you do plan to use this throughout the school year, it might come a little undone, so you might want to add a little something extra to hold it all together. I'm going to add a blanket stitch to the edge of the entire candy bag to hold it all together. I'm not the best when it comes to sewing, but this is actually a pretty easy way to actually hold everything together. To start your blanket stitch, you're going to take your needle and your thicker thread, and you're just going to poke it right through your candy bag. You're going to pull it out to the other side, and then you're going to bring it over back. Make another poke right through about a centimeter or two away. Pull it through, and then right before it actually loops into your candy bag, you're going to take your needle and your thread, and you're just going to loop it right through that little loop. There's a lot of loops going on, and then you're going to create that little piece for your blanket stitch. You're going to repeat the same thing over and over to create the border. Push it through, pull it all the way out, and then right before it is sealed, you're going to take your needle and thread, and then you're going to put it right under and then loop it back. It's relatively simple, and once you get the hang of it, it's actually really easy to continue and make onto your border. Like I said, I'm really not that great when it comes to sewing, but making a blanket stitch is actually really easy to do. If you guys have access to a sewing machine, you could also just sew the edges, and that would actually go a whole lot easier. But I feel like this blanket stitch definitely gives it a nice little homemade feel so that it's a little bit more unique, and you definitely feel more accomplished when you put it all together. Once you've applied your blanket stitch onto the border of your roll out pencil case, you are done with this project. Remember, the blanket stitch is an optional part of this project, but if you do take the time, it actually does come out to be a really cool border for your roll out pencil case. If you guys want to make a different pencil case, make sure you check out our other recycled candy bag pencil case right up there, and it's this guy. It's a little bit easier to do, and it holds a lot more pencils compared to this project. Between the two, I'd probably use this for everyday things, and I'd use this guy to hold my specialty pencils because it doesn't hold as much compared to the other pencil case. To hold your pencils inside, all you have to do is take your pencil and weave it over and under, and make sure you do it in an alternating pattern so that the pencils are woven into your roll out pencil case. Once they're in there, all you have to do is roll it up, take your ribbon, roll it around, secure it, and you have your rolled up pencil case. If you guys do make this project, make sure you share it with me either on my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And if you guys want to see more, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Ray Pahar to see some of the other projects that I usually don't put on my YouTube channel. Other than that, hopefully you guys had fun making this project. I'll see you guys next time, and stay crafty.